is again wonderful and overwhelming for me to see. Guruji when he was alive, he was a living example of what selflessness is. So all his life he continued to give. He continued to give everyone. Anyone who came his way could receive that downpour of wisdom from him. So that so many people can experience the joy that can give, it's a wonderful thing. So in one way it's beautiful that there is an opportunity for people from over 70 countries to taste the bounty and the joy that Guruji's teachings can give us. Now those of us who are seniors should only be cautious. Always Guruji said that a sadhaka, one who is a seeker, he should always be on a double-edged sword, he would say, that you have to be extremely careful when you're walking on that path. It has to be an extremely balanced path. So for the seniors, for us, those who pass on his teachings to the next generation, it's an added responsibility to see that we do it the way we received it. Because yes, we received the asanas, not just physically, mentally, emotionally, intellectually, physiologically, psychologically. There were so many layers of us which is touched by what our gurus give us. So when we pass it on to the next generation, we should be able to pass it on in the same way. Often I'm asked this question that what about dilution of the subject? That if you just go on propagating, then somewhere the purity of it is lost. So actually you miss the film now. In that film, Guruji says that Guruji says, when I teach, I instill that spark of sensitivity in my student. And he says, if my teachers can in turn instill that to their students, then Iyengar Yoga will live on. So that's from the film that you didn't see. So we as teachers should see to it that we convey that part also. Then it's there for generations to come and it's a joy.
Okay. And yoga in general is experiencing a huge success in the world. So huge that inevitably it leads to some excess and even some nonsense. I read, there was an article on Yoga Journal that is tequila yoga. And in the US, for example, yoga has become a real business on its own. So is this something that worries you?
Yeah, sometimes I find it silly that if you just want to enjoy something, then why call it branded under yoga? Just go and enjoy. I mean, you're not forced to come and do a yoga class. So that is why Patanjali's teachings are vital here. It's not just doing anything you like. Patanjali defines yoga as restraining the fluctuations of consciousness. And he says to do so, abhyasa vairagyabhyam tanirodhaha. So he said that can happen by the practice of abhyasa and vairagya. So whatever you take up, if that is being branded as yoga, you need to see whether these things are involved in it. Is it leading to the restraining the fluctuations of the consciousnness? Is there the effort in it? Is there the renunciation in it? If not, you have to be intelligent to decide. Yeah. People are just, that's why Guruji used to say many times, no? And it's very easy to fool the people. So many things may crop up.
But you're not feel concerned about Iyengar Yoga. It will be always...
Yes, I have that trust and faith in my fellow practitioners.
Okay, and what message would you like to pass on to a yoga practitioner today, who came here?
I'm trying to do it
Yeah.
in the 4 days. In one line, if I have to summarize, I just have to say, I will quote my grandfather again. He said once that yoga is like the river Amazon. Life is like the river Amazon. It flows with a dynamic force. You must live life like that, he said. So to me, that's the summary of what yoga is. As much as it gives you physical health, mental health, as much as it instills the spirituality in you, as much as it instills the philosophical tenets in you, it should also make you a joyous human being. It should make you a human being who can share the joy. It should be able to make you as someone who can accept that joy. If not, because yoga is not about isolation and renunciation. That's what I've seen in my grandfather. Because even though he was offered, that he would be given the title of sannyasi, he was advised to go to the Himalayas and do his tapas and practice and give up the worldly life. He said, no, life means to live. So I would summarize this as we should be able to see that part of Iyengar yoga. There is a lot of discipline, there is a lot of penetration, there is a lot of introspection, all that, and there is the joy in it. So if they go together, then it's a balanced learning.
Okay. Joy and meeting, sociability, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
See, our foremost, you would say Iyengar yoga is a parampara. So now I would say our foremost parampara or dharma, our foremost characteristic is to be a human being. Yoga parampara is one part. But if you trace back, the oldest one is to be a human being. So yoga has to do that. The scriptures say that a person should like a Padma Patram Ivambasa. That means you have to live like the leaf of the lotus plant. You see, the lotus plant grows in muddy water. So the leaf touches the muddy water. But if you see, the leaf is never soiled. The leaf never gets dirty. The flower is beautiful. So in the world, we should live like that, is what scriptures tell us. So whatever the yoga that you learn has to make you a better human being. So that's our foremost dharma. And Iyengar yoga definitely is meant for that ultimately. But you can't start with that. You won't join to a yoga class because you want to live like a lotus plant. You will join a yoga class because you want to get rid of pain, you want to improve your flexibility. So with any aim, you may come to a yoga class. But once you start your classes, you attend the classes regularly, you take up practice, changes will happen automatically on their own. You just have to have an open eye to see that in hindsight, 5 years, 6 years down the line, you look back and you realize this change has happened. Oh, I was more reactive, but nowadays my responses are more controlled. Oh, I used to be lazy, but now I'm not. So this happens in hindsight. So then you realize how Iyengar yoga has touched you. You can't start with that aim. Common man starts with an aim to gain the health. But later, once you accept it, yoga makes the transformation possible.
Okay. Good. Fine.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.